All right. How's everyone doing? Sunday morning. I just I woke up at like 3:42. Just I just woke up and used the restroom and everything was fine. Uh, and there was a message from the guy who's overseas, who's working on our storefront, and uh, and I was like, oh, okay. So I came into the office here and I answered it, and then anyway, 2 hours later. And then I waited for Crystal to get home. She got home, and I had already walked the dogs and taken the laundry out, all the blankets and pee pads and everything. And I'd done most of the work. I was up, whatever. So then I went back to sleep, and then got up at 8:30, and then took itty bitty, my min pin and my peewee, my chihuahua, out for a walk, and then I did a little rucking, put a weighted backpack on and walk. It's called rucking for a rucksack, walking with a rucksack. So I did that, and let's see. Let me just check the feed here. Okay, that's all good. Yeah, that's all good. Okay, and so that's a nice, easy Sunday morning. I got work to do this afternoon on illegal matter. It's actually going to be fun to rip this person apart in the filing that we're doing. But so that's the afternoon, and just got a. I haven't even read. I have to go back and read it because in the middle I got this long-winded message from our VFX guy. And I was like, okay, is he drunk texting me? Because it was. So anyway, I got to go back and read that, which is all good. How's everyone doing? Let's check in. Jim's Landscape LLC #1, Commodore Productions. How are you doing? Jim is first day, and then of course there's Brian Simpson from Ventura County, handyman for PA, Hermano Fracine. Oh yeah, I haven't heard from. I have. I'll send a message to Alexander. I sent a message to him earlier, and didn't hear back from him. Let's see. There's Frank Parker. How are you doing, Frank? No, I did not. Carahee. I don't know what Carahee Mountain is, but no, I did not. I came back, had my 4 eggs and a little peanut butter and jelly. All right. I'm sending Alexander a message. And Tupor, how are you? Claude Saling's there. Jens Knudsen's there. All the regulars are here. So good. My office is a bit of a mess. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. I'll show you. All the stuff is lined up here that was out in the hallway because I wanted to get out of the hallway. So it's here, and I've got to go through it. A lot of it is stuff that's going up in the new storefront. Single items, especially just collectibles and stuff that I've got. So that's what that is. So I'm really excited about the new storefront. We're using Shopify. I'm also helping another group set up. Not even really set up. I'm just kind of letting them know where to go and what to do as far as setting up an Axanar storefront. They're interested in doing that, and so I'm going to let them do that since it gets CBS's panties in a bunch when I sell anything Axanar related. So okay, fine, let someone else sell it. As long as it's being sold, I don't care. There's Alexander. Let me send him an invite. Let me send him an invite here, and then we can. Oh shit. See if he pops in. Yeah, listen, Handyman says, I cannot wait for the movie. I can't either. I wish, listen, honestly, I wish you guys are such loyal followers where I could show you the rough edits, which are, just amazing. And once all the VFX go in, it's going to be just rocking. So yes, so very cool. Oh yeah, that's an original Captain America shield from the show, from the movie. Yes, that's very cool. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. It's, I'm only putting 20 pounds on my back. I know Dale Simpson says, I put 20 pounds on my rucksack. Military is doing 60. So that's nothing. But it's still like, okay, it's a hell of a workout. It's very good. Yeah, I saw. I will check that out again. So I this year we had adopted out 26 cats so far this year. That's what I had to prepare a spreadsheet for the management over where we adopt them out, and so they were happy with that. They were like, okay, that's pretty good. So yeah, Eric, we've got, how many do we have? We've got 8 here. Ooh, excuse me, and I've got Foster with, I think she's got 4 or 5. So that we got to get all those adopted. So they're all getting spayed and neutered starting this week, and then I'll be going in to get adopted. And we're going to be posting photos for all the Axanar fans, and anyone who wants to adopt a cat anywhere, we'll fly them out to you. So thank you, Eric. We appreciate that. It's not an original model of the Skydiver. It is made by Martin Bauer, who was the one who made the models for UFO. So it's his handiwork. I've told the story of that. There you go. You can see it over there. That I actually got that from Rob Burnett, and so I loaned Rob the money to get his car. He then proceeded to get it repossessed. I want to say twice, and I lent him the money to get it out of hock. I mean, the fact that he went and got a pink slip loan on a car that he owed me for is beyond the pale. That's so unethical. But he did it. That's Rob. Rob's a grifter. He did it, and the third time, so it got repossessed twice, and I gave him the money to get it out of hock, and he paid me back. The third time, I was like, no, dude, I'm not loaning you the money. Because at this point, he owed us $30,000. And I said, no. I said, I'm not loaning you the money. I said, but tell you what, it was like $2,600 was how much he needed to get his car out of hock. And he's so fucking irresponsible. So I said, tell you what, and he had the Skydiver model in his office. I said, I'll give you $2,600 for that. He goes, oh, well, I paid 10 grand for it. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I said, dude, I'll give you the $2,600 if you want your car. And he reluctantly did. Now, so I love it. I'm a huge fan of Skydiver. I've got Flying Sub over here. I've got the Nautilus outside. I love my submarines. So there's that. That's the story about that. What, you got your fan film? You have a fan film? Tell us about it. Wilhelm is here. How are you? Yeah, I don't know. That's a very good question. Since it is Martin Bauer, at least it's if not, oh, excuse me, it's pretty damn close, right? Alan, how are you, Alan? This fall we are in post-production right now. We've wrapped. I've got to go back and count how many. Let's see. I have the list here of how many actors, because I had to do the lower thirds for them all. Let's see. Let me tell you. Let's see if I can just pull that list up if it's handy. Oh my God, I've got so much crap on my computer desktop. Let me just search for lower thirds. Lower thirds. There it is, spreadsheet. There we go. And I'll tell you, because we obviously just added. Okay, so this says, well, it doesn't say. It just said, this is the, I have a spreadsheet here for all the lower thirds lower thirds of the little tile, like you see over here. That's like a lower third. All right. There's the Mad Scotsman. Brian Simpson was asking about you, so I figured I'd send you.
Was he? Oh,
yeah.
I feel honored.
Yeah, I was trying to count how many actors we have here.
Many.
In the next two episodes, because I'm not sure if it's 19 or 20. Paul Osborne pointed that out to me the other day. Wow. Okay, so this says 17. Then we just added another one, and then we another one. We're at 19. It seems we have 19 actors in. Yeah, 19 actors. So someone was asking, this gentleman, Alan, was asking when it's coming out. So, and that's all in the can, Alan. That's all done. Principal photography is wrapped. So we are in post-production, working on VFX. And so hopefully this fall, I really want to get it out this year. But, we had a stupid little delay, and we're just trying to fit into our VFX team's timelines. There you go. But we're all pretty fired up. What is my favorite movie from the TNG? Yeah, First Contact. First Contact's the best. It's clearly the best TNG era movie. Because let's see,
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
First Contact, Insurrection, and what's the Tom Hardy one?
Nemesis.
Right? Those
I actually don't think it's too bad.
Nemesis, if you cut out certain pieces, it'd be better. And Insurrection, I think, is fine. Like, Insurrection is just, there's nothing wrong with Insurrection other than it comes off as a great 2-part episode, not like a big epic movie.
Yeah, it would have been, yeah.
It's just epic. There's so much epicness in First Contact. And listen, I'm a huge fan of Generations.
Generations was the last film that I saw pre-internet, pre-spoiler, pre-checking everything, and like, First Contact was on the brink. The internet was in its infancy, but you had Star Trek magazine and everything like that. So, but Generations, yeah, it's the first film that blew my mind because I was not expecting the Enterprise to die.
Right. Well, I'm very happy it died because I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand the D, and I love the E. I just love the E. So
Got it behind me.
I think Johnny East posted some photos from San Diego Comic-Con, and I think Factory Entertainment now has the license to produce ships because it looks like they're coming out with a not studio scale, but a large scale Enterprise E. Let's see. We need a slow pan of everything on Alex Bouchot to see what sort of interesting things he has that we can't see from. Yeah, I'd be happy to show you guys sometime. I mean, there's
he has lots.
Everything has there's different sections, right? So, I mean, just down there is kind of like on the top row up there are all my really key books, all my very collectible books, as well as stuff that you might not have heard of that was important to me when I was younger. Then the second and third shelf are all the original series hardcover first edition novels of Star Trek. So you start with the motion picture. I've got a Gene Roddenberry signed copy of the motion picture. And then you go from Surak, which I think was the first. I think Surak was the first one. And then all those hardcover novels are there. And then more down below is more then down there is, technical manuals and things like that. And then the second one here, this shelf here, is all Warhammer. So that's all my Horus Heresy novels and that's all my Warhammer novels there. And then here is up here is some special editions like my Barack Obama signed autobiography, and then just some really cool, just kind of tchotchkes and stuff. And then down below is a bunch of Warhammer stuff down there. And then over here, let's see. These are all my martial arts books up top. And then, here are all my making of. It's all the great making of books. Like it's all the Rinsler. If you don't know, I'm just going to take that. If you don't know J.W. Rinsler, he authored all the really definitive edition making of books. And he started with Star Wars. So his books, The Making of Star Wars, The Making of Empire Strikes Back, The Making of Return of the Jedi, are just legendarily good. But, one of my favorite is Making of the Planet of the Apes, that which, you're talking about a 50-year-old film, and he goes back and has just, the research is staggering. Excuse me. So there's, and then Making of Aliens, Making of Alien, and Making of Aliens. Then I also have the Making of Monty Python and the Holy Grail first edition, which I got back in like 1980. The Making of Blade Runner, hardcover first edition of that.
I live not too far away from where they filmed a lot of Monty Python's Holy Grail.
Oh, I bet you did. Yeah.
Castle Doone.
Yeah.
Also seen in Highlander. No.
Right.
No. What's that? Outlander. Sorry, Outlander.
Oh, Outlander. Okay.
You can't get to it these days because of that.
I got Space Odyssey, the Making of 2001, the Making of Patton, Making of Shawshank Redemption, Making of Caddyshack, Making Fake Star Trek, which is a book a couple guys did about making Star Trek New Voyages. They were there in the beginning. So there's that, Making of Caddyshack, Making of Wind in the Line, and I just got Tom Selleck's autobiography because I know because why not? I knew Tom. I've said, I've told people before I coached his stepson and went to his stepson's wedding at his house. Tom threw a party for us at his house. Tom had bought the old Dean Martin estate up in Hidden Valley. It's spectacular. When you think of high-end Southern California living up in the hills, is just freaking amazing. So I want to, it's like also one of Tom Selleck's first movies, The High Road to China, I absolutely love, partly because it's got a John Barry soundtrack, which is spectacular, as John Barry is wont to do.
He does do good music.
He's the man. So John Barry, of course, who did all the early James Bond films.
He also did quite a few other things as well.
Oh, yeah.
I used to know exactly what he used to do, but I can't remember.
John Barry Dances with Wolves. I think back in the 60s, he did Lion in Winter. He did Born Free. He won an Oscar for Born Free.
Of course, yes, Born Free.
Yeah. I remember watching Mercury Rising, which is a what's his name?
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, and it was like on TV, and I was watching it. And I'm listening, and I'm going, that sounds like John Barry's soundtrack. And so I just IMDb'd it, and sure enough, it was one of his last movies. So John Barry just had such a distinct style and just so epic. It's just so epic. I wonder if he won for Dances with Wolves. He should have. That soundtrack was gorgeous. Okay, what are we? Jens is asking how your boy is doing.
Yeah, I answered him textually, but I'll say it here. He's doing absolutely fine. He's now £10.13. He only put on a few pounds for the last couple of weeks. He's a little cantankerous when it comes to feeding.
Jen said he visited the Titan Missile Museum where they filmed the silo launch sequence as the first contact.
Because it was an actual silo that they and that was an actual Titan missile, but that they put a big fiberglass cockpit on top of. A lot of people don't know that. They're like, oh, that's a fantastic set. That looks so real. Well, because it is real. Brian Simpson said, "What?
Yes.
What
Jeff,
production?
We'll work on that. What's that?
What production you?" Brian Simpson was asking, "What production used Lake Sherwood as a filming location?"
Is that Insurrection? Was that Lake Sherwood?
Insurrection had a big lake sequence. I'd imagine it was that.
Oh, okay. It was what was that episode called? Is that
Miri's Planet?
Paradise Syndrome? When Kirk was an Indian? I think that's it.
I can't remember now. A lot of the TOS episodes have very abstract names.
No one tried to build a life-size Enterprise. They talked about doing that in Las Vegas, and it was a stupid idea.
And they went for the experience inside the hotel instead, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
There was an idea of having a life-size Enterprise. You can still find the concept sketches, I think.
Yeah, I've seen stuff. It's like, really, that was just a stupid idea.
Never got to see the experience. I'm really annoyed that for years when it opened, I just didn't have the financial oomph to get to Las Vegas to go and see it.
Yeah.
And then just as I'm starting earning decent money, they close it. It's like, oh, come on.
I will say that and back then the Las Vegas con was smaller than it is now.
I'm surprised you're not at it.
And it was half the size of what it is now. But we had the experience there in the bar, Clark's Bar, and so it was just wonderful. I mean, and the Hilton, it was the Hilton at that time, and it was just it was the Hilton had become a second-rate hotel. It kind of like the Rio is, although I hear the Rio is like renovated, so everyone who's going to, I guess, is it next week is Star Trek Las Vegas? I hear it's much better. So there you go.
No. It was a deactivated Titan missile. They just made a big fiberglass resin or whatever you want Phoenix cockpit, and then they just plonked it on top of the inactive Titan missile. I don't think the Titans have been active for quite some time, have they? They were decommissioned quite some time ago.
Yes, they were. Could a life-size Enterprise be built? I think the problem with that is just structurally. Those engine nacelles would have to be so light in order for the struts to be able to handle them.
I mean, but that's one of the reasons why the Enterprise has the design it has, because it was their attempt to show, look, our engineering has progressed to the point that we can have this seemingly fragile looking thing, and it's actually quite strong.
Right.
But, the filming models themselves droop over time. So even with a metal armature inside, so those are 3 to 6 foot models. We can't keep them absolutely straight. So I don't think we could. You could make a life-size Enterprise, but it would have to be. It'd be full of support struts.
There you go. That's cool. Very cool.
Unless you're thinking an actual spaceborne one.
Yeah. It's just
someone. I did see.
So impractical. I don't know how you'd hold up the saucer section.
Yeah. Well, in space it would be fine. Because there's no gravity acting upon it. And I have seen one interesting suggestion that the saucer section becomes a big, massive gravity wheel. So it spins from the center, and that's where everybody gets their gravity from for long trips. Obviously, you'd have to have the round saucer then, so things like the Enterprise D and whatnot, they're all out.
All right, then check that. The nacelles. Listen, the nacelles have been a problem on a lot of different versions of the Enterprise. If you remember, before Master Replicas, there was a company called Unobtainium, and they did one, and those are just a disaster. The nacelles are totally drooping on them. So. Yeah,
you need a really strong armature.
Yes.
Have you seen that there's a guy who's he's building an Enterprise D for Terry Metalis? He's building a big 650 scale Enterprise D, and he's built this really beautiful armature for it.
Wow. All right, that's cool.
So that's cool. Getting a gig from Metalis. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We don't know yet if it's going to be fully Enterprise D or if it's going to be the Intercuse or the Syruprise, whatever you want to call it. If you haven't watched Picard season 3 yet, go and watch it. Then you'll know what I'm talking about.
If you haven't watched Picard season 3, I'm like, why not? Jeez,
yeah,
guys.
Indeed, it's a fantastic. It's a swan song to TNG.
Good. It's good. Jeff McBee says the IXS Enterprise. I don't know what that is. What's the IXS Enterprise?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You have to explain yourself, sir. I have to explain that one.
Is that the one that Mark Rademacher designed?
I have no idea.
So sort of like based on our current technological capabilities using the Alcubierre drive, I think. That might be it. I'm not sure.
All right. By the way, those of you who donated to the fundraiser for Scott Good's dog Troy, we hit almost $2,000.
Oh, fantastic!
$1,500. So yeah, very happy about that. Scott, latest update on Scott is that they gave him a tracheotomy and were able to take out the intubation tube because that's not a good long-term solution. It'll damage your vocal cords, I guess. So they did that, and from what I understand, he's awake now. Just can't communicate, obviously, because of the tracheotomy. So we're sending our prayers to Scott. Yeah, hoping all goes well.
Because I was watching his updates, and then suddenly he went silent.
And that's why he went to the hospital and some complications from his surgery. And
Was it induced, or did he slip into one?
No, it was induced because his oxygen levels weren't where they needed to be.
Understood.
To stop the intubation. So anyway, he's doing great. Oh, you know what I was going to do? Since we're hanging out here, I noticed that I had uploaded. It's not an HD version, but a version of the Icarus Maneuver. So why don't we check that out?
Something to do.
It was stardate 2244.8. We responded to a distress call from the Apollo. We warped into a graveyard.
Captain on the bridge.
We knew the Klingons were there. We just didn't know where.
Sit rep, Ken. Shields are up, weapons are ready, but we're having trouble spotting them.
What about our ships?
Gone, sir.
2 D6s inbound high, bearing 136 degrees.
Red alert!
They're opening fire. Incoming torpedoes.
Evasive, full impulse.
Inertial dampeners down. Secondaries online.
Bridge engineering. Alexei, we just lost it.
I'm on it. 5 minutes.
And I also need...
Reserve power to phasers.
Mr. DeVille, get us 50 clicks above the nearest D6. Icarus Maneuver, on my mark.
Z plus 50 clicks. Aye, sir.
Closest hostile port shields down to 33%.
Target port in a cell tower.
Target locked.
Standby tractor beam.
Tractor beam. Aye.
Shield power fluctuating, Captain.
We've lost power to communications.
We're losing lateral starboard thrusters.
Make it count, Corey.
I always do.
In position in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Icarus, mark.
Hostiles port shields now at 17%. They're down.
Fire phasers. It's all you, Commander.
Got it. Steady, Mr. Gaville. Let's see their shields stop this. Now, Mr. DeVille. Scratch 1d6.
Status on the other ship.
Second ship is coming about. Wait. The plasma's igniting.
Damn. That's not something you see every day.
Always good, always enjoyable.
Still as good as the first day I saw that.
Yeah, that's good. So I'm reading through the comments here. And that's on the Axanar page, Facebook, Axanar website. If you ever want to see it in a higher res version. Let's see. Yeah, the music is basically Mark Edward Lewis doing Star Trek. So
I love it. I love it. He mixes so much into it. It's like you notice all the little stings. And you're like, yeah, this is like it's like he's taken all the films and just put them together.
I'm just reading everyone's comments. Yeah, people, since you're asking about my book collection, let's see. Here, I'll bring. I'll show you guys today. Here's some of the. I always love, of course. I always love the leather-bound books, right? So, is this Easton Press? This is Easton Press. The Kinsman Saga by Ben Bova. I've got my original copy of Millennium, which was here. I'll show you the original books this came from, which are two of the first books in my collection. Millennium, which has by Ben Bova. There's also the John Varley book Millennium, totally different. But this is really good, and this is a first edition. It's kind of yellowed and all. Because it's so old. This book is from 1976, and you'll see that a novel of people and politics in the year 1999. So it's kind of space 1999. But anyway, Millennium, and then Kinsman was the following book, which I don't have a copy of. I guess I need to get a copy of that. And then they put it together for the Kinsman Saga here. And it's great because it's about the first man to murder another person in space, which is like a total accident. But it's like, what are the ramifications of that, right? And it's so good that the Easton Press put it into a leather-bound edition. Highly recommend it. Millennium is you'll read it in a day and a half. That's a great one. So I really love that. But I've got a couple other leather-bound editions, which are all books that mean something to me, right? So James Mitchell, The Bridges of Toko-Ri. If you're familiar with the movie, it's a very famous movie with who is that? William Holden. And it's a very well done movie. Mickey Rooney is in it as well. Let me see, Bridges of Toko-Ri. Grace Kelly is in it, right? I mean, it's just got an amazing cast. It's William Holden, Grace Kelly, Frederick March, who's a classic actor, Mickey Rooney, but we had to read the book. Which is by James Mitchell, who's just an epic author, American author. And no joke, when I was younger, I read this book like 15 times. That's how good it is. So when a book means something to you like that, it's worth, if they make it, you get a hardbound copy of it. And so there you go. So The Bridges of Toko-Ri. The other one is The Shoes of the Fisherman by Morris West. And if you haven't seen the movie, the movie is just, and it has an amazing movie poster too. pull that up for you. Oh yeah. No, we don't want to listen to your. Yeah, here else. The Shoes of the Fisherman is one of my favorite movies of all time, and with good reason. And you should. Here, let's see. Oh. I can share this. Let me share this. Share the screen for you. All right, so here it is. If you can go and check it out. It's The Shoes of the Fisherman. Anthony Quinn, Laurence Olivier, Oscar Werner, who was big in the 60s. David Jansen plays a news reporter. John Gielgud is in it. He plays the Pope. I mean, just like amazing cast, right? And it has a really epic movie poster there. It's just very classic 60s movie poster. Let's see. There you go. You can't see. I guess you can't see that. There you go. I guess I have to switch the. I have to switch screens. There you go. So here's the movie poster, right? Very classic 60s movie poster. And the story is it's an amazing story. So the story is basically that there's this Russian dissident, Kirill Lakota, who played by Anthony Quinn, who's when the movie opens up is in a gulag in Siberia. Anyway, he gets rescued and becomes a cardinal, right? And then during the course of the movie, the Pope dies. They go to elect a new Pope, and no one can agree on who the new Pope should be. Like there's two factions that are arguing. And they're all trying to they need to find someone to break this tie because it's just going on and there's no, they cannot agree. And someone says, well, what about Kirill? And everyone's like, yeah, yes. And he does not want it. He's like, no. And there's this great scene about him running around the college of cardinals and just saying, no, I don't want this. I don't want. And they all vote on him and they like unanimously elect him Pope. Well, it really takes place in the 60s in the Cold War, in the heat of China and Russia. And anyway, he does some like world changing things that are very, very earth-shaking to bring peace to help bring peace. It's not like he brings peace to the world, but to help solve some crisis. Anyway, you guys got to watch this movie. The book here by Morris West is amazing. I urge you to read it if you're a reader at all. You will enjoy it. And the movie, watch the movie again. Anthony Quinn, John Gielgud, Laurence Olivier. I mean, David Jansen. Fucking amazing cast. So you'll really enjoy that. It's one of those. There's some great 60s, 70s movies that made a big impact on my life, obviously, because I'm of that age. Unfortunately, I'll show you another time. Colossus, the Forbidden Project, and then here's Stars and Stripes Forever, which is Harry Harrison. This is a signed first edition, which is really nice. It's a beautiful. This is a beautiful book, right? There he is, signed. The thing about this is it's an alternate history of what if the United States had not fought the Civil War. Basically, what happens is the English accidentally attack the Confederacy. They don't mean to, but they do, and they kill a bunch of kids. And so the Confederacy is like, holy shit, we're screwed because we've got to fight the North, and now the English want us. So it's a story of how they basically make peace with the North, and then we fight against the English, who are, and it's an amazing 3-book series. This is Stars and Stripes Forever, Stars and Stripes in Perils, and is the second one, I think, and then there's a third book. Anyway, great alternate history if you like that. And the great thing about it is Harry Harrison blends in all the famous historical characters. So of course you get all the Lincoln in his cabinet, you get all the Confederate generals, you get the guy who invented the ironclads and the torpedo and the metal propeller and all that. Real interesting stuff. So there you go. So there you go. So you asked about books on my shelf. There's I'll go through them from time to time so you guys can see. But yeah, there you go. Let's go through some of the comments. Yeah, I mean, I've got all my technical Star Trek technical manuals. Well, actually, we have part of it. We have part of a Klingon bridge. We have a chair and we have consoles.
Yeah, you've got a chair, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Do we actually have a picture of JG in that chair? Because that has to happen. That has to happen next time you got him along.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get once things change with CBS.
Oh yes, of course.
I'm just reading your comments here. Oh, there's Michelle. Yeah, all right. Hey, Michelle. And of course, since Michelle is here,
there we go.
I have to pull out of her book. Boom, boom, boom. On my. That's kind of like my favorite reading shelf. I have a shelf over here. If you ask, and X-15 Rocket Plane by Michelle Evans. I'm urging you guys to buy that book if you're interested in it. It's just so well written. Michelle's just amazing. Some other books. Here are some other books on that shelf. If you want to laugh your ass off, Unending, The Big Book of Barry Ween, Boy Genius by Judd Winnick. It is freaking hysterical. It is one of the funniest things you'll ever read. And then here's my paperback version of The Making of Blade Runner, because my hardcover or first edition version I don't want to read. You don't want to break that book open. So whenever I want to learn about The Making of Blade Runner, so there's some books that are on my reading shelf. I also have 2 other great books: Making of Tombstone and The Making of Magnificent Seven, my two favorite westerns. There's so much to learn by reading about the making of other projects. You learn there's so much to learn, and you learn about you're not the only one who's had this problem. You think I'm the only person that's had to deal with assholes and trying to make a movie? You think I'm the only one who's had this problem and that? No, people are people, and great, they rise above challenges. So learning about that is really important, and it's inspiring. It really is inspiring. I have no idea. What's Crestline. What are you open? You're running through your book, Crestline. Is that Insurrection? Is Crestline Insurrection? I have no idea.
Yeah, he's got a book of trivia that he's just bought, and he's flicking through it and going, "Oh, that's a good one."
I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to, Jens. So there you go. Yeah, I read it a few years ago. Of course, it clashed with what I thought it should be, but it was interesting. It was fine.
Did anything come of that fan film about.
No, I haven't heard anything about that. Yeah, someone's trying to make a Garth of Izar fan film. I was like, oh, that's very nice. I'm nothing against them or nothing. I have nothing to say really about it. I was like, oh, okay, good for you. I know the haters thought I was going to lose my shit. I was like, why would I lose my shit? The haters they assign the worst motives to you.
You do nothing but support fan films.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you dumbasses. Well, you guys are all hating on everything. I've been supporting fan films for a dozen years now. Well, longer than that. I mean, 2010, 14 years ago was when I first started working with Star Trek New Voyages. And I'll tell you the biggest, one of the real shames of it all. One of the things that it's not, I can't say I regret it because I really didn't have a hand in it, is that people like James Cawley and Vic Mignogna are just such fucking narcissistic assholes that I had a lot of good times at Star Trek New Voyages. So did Mark Edward Lewis. We worked together there. We met Jeff Barklage there, who's an amazing DP. Right? There's people there, and yeah, gosh, you wish you could, do things together, or at least reminisce with some of those people. And unfortunately, James and Vic make it all this, me versus them type of situation. Not unlike the narcissistic asshole who's running for president right now in the United States. And it's like, wow, why can't we be friends? Why do you have to be such an asshole and so hateful? I wish I had the opportunity to still be friends with James, which I've offered many times, and he's just slapped my hand away. He's so up the ass of CBS right now. And Vic can't get over himself. So, that'll never happen. But, Vic's in a position where he can keep making fan films. Wow. And Vic's very good at making fan films, right? Here's the difference between me and all the haters. I'll always give people credit for the things they do right. I never try and I will never detract from something and say, oh, well, he can't do this. No, Vic did a very good job making Star Trek Continues, and he did a lot of the work in editing, music. I mean, the guy did a lot of work. He's a narcissistic asshole and a prick, but the guy can make fan films, and it's a shame that resource is going to waste now because of who he is, and he can't get over himself. The funny thing Josh Irwin always says is, he always says, like, when he talks to me about Vic, I'm like, oh yeah, he's a narcissistic asshole, whatever. And like when he talks to Vic about me, Vic like loses his shit and goes on a yelling spree and whatever. It's like, look, God, how cool would it be for any of these people who don't get along to say, all right, hey, bygones be bygones. Let's figure out how we work together and move on, right?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, because I have great, the people in fan films I have a great relationship with. We have a blast. I mean, Vance Major, Josh Irwin, Sam, whoever the people are that we work with, my VFX teams, the guy, the team that's doing our compositing, we've built new friends, I love Nick Cook. I think he does great work. I wish I knew more about Aaron down in Australia. There's a lot of great. Frank Parker's 3.5 hours north of here. He just came down for our last shoot. We had a great time. There's so many good people in fan films, and it's just a shame that it becomes this, us versus them bullshit, right? It's just there's no need for that, right? No need for that. Let's see what else is. Oh yeah, Jen, those will be back. Yeah, there are things that I sell. I'll have in my store, and if it's not, if it's something that's going to get CBS's panties in a bunch, the fan group was going to take care of that. Well, it was it was Elvis Kirk. I mean, right?
Space Elvis.
Yeah, it was Space Elvis. It was, which listen, if you embrace that, right? I mean, you can look at it and go, oh God, what is up with that hair? Why is he Elvis and why is he playing a cross between Elvis and Captain Kirk? You can go there, or you can go, okay, James Cawley's an Elvis impersonator and he can't mess with his hair. So when he's playing James Kirk, he's going to look like Elvis. Okay, we can go with that, right? It's a fan film. Go with it. It's not like Axanar is introducing Elvis into the universe, right? It's like a fan film is doing it. It's like, okay, so anyway, that's my take on it. Look, I actually like James Cawley's Kirk more than I like Vic's Kirk, because James Cawley's doing his own thing. Vic is trying to impersonate William Shatner. And I don't think impersonation has a place in acting like that. It's so there's a spectrum. So here's Vic trying to do Kirk. He's doing an impersonation of Shatner. Here's James Cawley doing Kirk. Doesn't look anything like Shatner, but he tries to pull it off here and there, now and then. And then over here you have like Carl Urban doing McCoy, where it's so subtle that you just totally buy it. But that's because he's a great actor, right? He gets it. Yeah, that is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. Yeah, handyman. Yeah. As a matter of fact, you guys, if I don't know who you are, you should send me an email. Like, handyman, I have no idea who you are. Alec@axanar.com. Send me an email because there's we're doing a letter writing campaign, and I'd love to have you writing letters to certain people that need to know about us. I don't know that's fan film. I'll have to check it out. Yeah. Well, also, as I've always said, that no one ever played James Bond the way Sean Connery did.
Yeah, they all did their own thing.
Yeah, and that's why that's why everyone has a, you can always say, oh, my favorite James Bond is X, and I love Timothy Dalton, love Pierce Brosnan. He's probably my, in many ways he was my favorite James Bond because I loved his movies. But geez, Daniel Craig is freaking he's a James Bond for the 21st century. Yeah. So was I know.
Yeah, after the last film, he ain't coming back.
That's true. But I love that they did that.
Yeah.
Just like I love that everyone died at the end of Rogue One.
They didn't go for the Hollywood ending.
Yeah, originally they did. Originally they survived, and when they started shooting extra, they thought it was best if they. I fucking love that movie so much. So yeah.
Yeah,
well,
and you now know why Vader wasn't taking any of their shit when he got on board, and they're saying this is a counselor ship. Nope, absolutely not.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw you.
So so many people didn't like the Acolyte.
Yeah,
and, I'm somewhat ambivalent about it. I think it may well be the worst outside of Book of Boba Fett. It may be the worst of the new ones, and it's
the bottom.
Yeah,
bottom of the list.
It's a shame because listen, in the first episode, it started off so strong, especially with Carrie Moss in there, and it was a great fight scene. That is one of the great Jedi fight scenes. That one.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a shame that I don't know where it went off the track so badly.
You know why? Because they had writers that had never watched Star Wars. Leslie Headland, who produced it, quite proudly stated in an interview, she went to this good writer and says, have you ever seen Star Wars? And she says, is that the one with the big bear and the metal people? You're hired, she says. You're like, no, you need to have someone who knows something about the lore and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. And respects it and honors it. Yeah.
It started strong, went really slow, and then just copped out.
Yeah. It was. I just. It was just.
The ending is like, all right, cool. So no one gets their just deserves. The bad people.
It's like I'm not.
Bad people get away scot-free, no accountability, and the only person who gets any blame is the only good character.
Yeah.
Who's dead. He gets all the blame put on him. I'm like, yeah, right. That if anything's shoving a certain message down your throat, that was.
I was just I'm looking forward to season 2 of Andor.
Oh yes, season 1 finished so well. You're like, oh, are they going to make it? Are they not?
Yeah,
I'm such a fan of Andy Serkis's acting. That one scene on that bridge when he's got his hand, they've all got their hands like that, and they learn of the fate of the other team, and just by the glint of in his eyes, you can tell he changes from I'm gonna get out of here to I'm dead. Just a subtle. You're like, that's a powerful moment.
He's a wonderful actor. He really is a wonderful actor. That's so. There's a lot of great stuff. So, but all right. Listen, I have to go because I gotta shower and change and start working. And check in on the cats. Hope you guys are all doing great. Alex, good to see you again. And why don't we just for the fun of it, why don't we give out, because I know the haters follow our live streams, which I think is hysterical. They're all
because they're
so consumed with us.
Is there anything we can? Do they see anything we can attack them on? Basically,
yeah. And so people send, I've got friends who send me the relevant stuff, and we all just laugh about how consumed they are. They can't go a day without talking about me. But I do want to award it's time we awarded this once more. Because it is the Go Frack Yourself Award for Exceptional Dickery, which definitely has to go to Justin Burton, the village idiot of Axanar. He's stuck on this thing that I don't have a job. It's I'm living off of Crystal Hubbard. No, guys, I actually have my own business, and being an entrepreneur is a job.
Yeah,
I know you guys can't understand that. Justin Burton can't understand that because I don't know. He makes
he wants to see you in a cardboard box. Yeah, he wants to see you in a cardboard box on the side of the road, homeless. That's how he wants you to be, and it just sticks in his craw that's not how it is.
Yeah, because he needs me to be worse than him, because that's the only way he can feel good about himself, right? And so
I genuinely believe he lives in his grandparents' basement.
Whatever it is, it's just like I'm not wishing ill on anyone. It's just like, move on with your life. It's like Paul Jenkins, just someone who does it, like who found out about Paul Jenkins over the past week was like, that guy needs to move on with his life. Was he? Yeah. It's like, yeah, dude, you're not making a documentary. You're just, that's just a scam. It's just move on with your life. Stop hating on me because you're pissed off that I fired you. Just people move. Listen, negative energy does not do you any good.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't do you any good. You can hate all you want. You're not. It doesn't make your life one bit better.
Yeah, I love how. His name escapes me now. You were just talking about him as well.
Justin Burton.
No, the guy who's trying to sue you. Paul.
Oh, Paul Jenkins.
Paul Jenkins. That's him. I love how he's doing exactly
I'm suing
what
him, actually.
Yeah, they accuse you of scamming and taking all the money and running, right? But that's exactly what Paul has done, He's
$180,000.
Yeah, he's not paid
Like a
any of his
documentary, and
legal
no one knows
team.
where that money went.
Yeah, and he's done what no one knows what he's done with that money that was supposed to be for the documentary and whatnot, and for his legal team.
But he'll make
and
it
they
when he
support
gets me in
him.
court.
Yeah, they only support him because he's against you.
And he just hired his third lawyer because the second one dropped him for the same reason the first one dropped him, failure to pay. The first lawyer is suing him for $300,000 because he never paid his bill. And why that lawyer let him run up a $300,000 bill, that lawyer is an idiot. Andrew Crane, he not only is, probably should be brought up on ethics charges because he helped Paul file a fraudulent copyright, but you're an idiot for allowing. I mean, your firm. I bet your firm's not happy with you, Andrew. That that your firm and no one will ever get that money from Paul. I mean, maybe they drive Paul into bankruptcy if Paul's smart. The house in his wife, soon to be ex-wife, I hear, because Paul is such a philanderer. But and then his second lawyer fired him because he wouldn't pay his second lawyer, and he found a third lawyer who is now handling this third lawyer, Francis, who I'm sure is a nice guy. He's not a dick like lawyer number 2, who is a misogynist. Lawyer number 3 is handling his case against lawyer number 1, the lawsuit that lawyer number 1 is suing him for $300,000, and he's handling his case against me, or my case against him, I should say. And to which my lawyer tried to settle that, and again, my lawyer called him up and was like, can we settle this? Can we just get rid of this thing? No one's going to win it, and because honestly, now I don't even need to prove that Paul's a copyright fraud. Besides the fact that the proof is obvious, it's like we're not using any of the script that you and I worked on together, Paul. We were back so go fuck yourself.
Not even using the footage either because it was garbage.
Yeah, none of your shit, dude. And so I just want to be out of it at this point. And like Paul will never come out with this documentary because first of all, no one will watch it. Second of all, everyone will think you're a dick. All you're doing is attacking Alec. You're a dick. Third, it's going to come out after Axanar, even if it does come out, because Axanar's coming out this year. So you're just going to look like a triple dick. Go back to your mediocre comic book writing career. Go scam the next person you can scam, and move on, dude. Just move on. My understanding is he's, his last couple of videos about me he made was on his fainting couch in his basement because we had someone tell us that him and his wife are estranged, so he's living in the basement of their enormous house. They have a very big house. So anyway, a lot of bullshit. Have fun, guys. We're moving on. We got other things to do. We're not. This is like the most I spend talking about these idiots, in any given period of time because I don't go to Axanar. I don't read the shit that those guys put out. But
I mean, you already know what actually happens. Why do you want to read what they think happens?
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit what they think, And as I said, there are millions of people that know about Axanar. I don't give a shit what are there 50 people in that group who just jerk off on a regular basis to attacking me? I don't give a shit what they say. Oh God. So anyway, there you go. So there once again, Justin Burton, you win this week's Go Frack Yourself award for exceptional dickery. There you go. We're also gonna have another award. We got to redo the Body Chalk Award for hypocritical victimhood. You need it, because you did such a great job on the Go Frack Yourself award. You need to do something exceptional for that. Yeah, because we just get a kick out of how the Axanar Monitor haters are constantly victims. They're constantly victims of they are constantly projecting onto us what they do. I'm like, no, guys, we want you to go away. If you never say, it's not us who's talking about you guys online. It's you guys who are talking about us online. Go away. we don't to never hear from you again. That would be really nice. Never hear from you again. I don't want to mention you. I don't want to hear from you. I cannot wait until this lawsuit with Paul is done, which if it goes to court, you're going to lose, Paul, because 1, you're an asshole, and 2, your claims are bullshit, and 3, we have absolute proof you filed the fraudulent copyright. So stop posturing for your hater buddies who all see through you at this point, and go away. Just please go away.
It'll be
Everyone
cheaper in the
should
long
go
run.
Wolverine versus Deadpool and have a good time this weekend. How's that?
Oh, I'm going to see that too on Tuesday.
Yeah, matter of fact, we're going today. So yes, so we're going today. So I'm looking forward to it, because then I don't. Oh, by the way, you saw the big reveal at Comic-Con, right? The Robert Downey Jr. reveal.
No, I don't know. I saw something about it, yes, and the crowd going wild when he took the mask off, yes.
Oh yeah, so they were announcing who was going to play Dr. Doom in the upcoming Marvel movies, and it's Robert Downey Jr. It's going to be an alternate
Doom costume.
There's a thread where there's a comic book where in an alternate universe Tony Stark becomes Dr. Doom. So that's the way they're gonna. That's where they're gonna. That's the way.
That could be cool.
So
I mean, he's brilliant in whatever he does. So.
Oh yeah, he's great.
I'm sure he'll kick it out the park.
There was a great. By the way, if you're friends with me on Facebook, go check out the thing I posted on Robert Downey Jr., which is really good. It's about his sobriety. I'm not an addict. Never been. I have a great deal of empathy for people who have been, and he's just one of those role models. And he credits Mel Gibson a lot for helping him recover. And the video that I posted on Facebook was really, really powerful. Really powerful.
In fact, what award show is it that he actually went into a spiel about how Mel Gibson helped him? Because Mel Gibson basically gave him an ultimatum. You clean yourself up, and I'm going to get you jobs.
Yeah, and that's what happened. And he helped him. He gave him the job in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which was a Mel Gibson's production company. And Mel Gibson was originally going to play the role, and he gave it to Robert Downey Jr., which was a real turning point for Robert Downey in his comeback. So
it's funny how quick people forget that when they hate on Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I don't hate on Mel.
He's made mistakes, but he's still a good guy. Right.
Exactly. And it's not if you make a mistake, right? It's do you have the capacity to learn and improve and get better? And so I'll give Mel Gibson credit for that. Here you go. This is let me see if I can. Let me share this. Everyone should watch this rather than you have to go to. Whoops. Let me make sure.
Top right.
Oh, thank you.
Didn't have to be his.
Let me start it. Oh.
Or anyone else's, as long as it was rooted.
Yeah, you can't control them. You'll have to come out of it and come back into it.
Hired, so.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Rule. Pretty straightforward.
And then go back. There you go.
Sober. He told me not to give up hope, and he urged me to find my faith. Didn't have to be his or anyone else's, as long as it was rooted in forgiveness. And I couldn't get hired, so he cast me in the lead of a movie that was actually developed for him, and he kept a roof over my head. And most importantly, he said that if I accepted responsibility for my wrongdoings, and if I embraced that part of my soul that was ugly, hugging the cactus, he calls it, he said that if I hugged the cactus long enough, I'd become a man of some humility, and that my life would take on a new meaning. And it worked. All he asked in return was that someday I help the next guy. When I couldn't get sober.
So that's it. That's good stuff, man. That's good. That's good stuff. So, and it's a good place to end. We're way over time, guys. I do need to get going because I've got stuff to do. But I appreciate you guys coming out and hanging with us and chatting with us and listening to us pontificate. And Robert Westfold, ask me the next time. Ask me in the next live stream when we have some more time. We'll go through that. So there you go, guys. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. Go see Wolverine versus Deadpool and help set. I mean, they're setting world record. It's going to be the biggest box opening of all time. So go check it out. Enjoy it. Enjoy the weekend, and then come back. We'll certainly have a Trek After Dark on Wednesday, and I don't know. We'll do something else some other time this week. I got more VFX coming, so I'd love to share them. Also, just last thing I'll say, just remember, make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter. So I'm assuming most of you guys are, because that's how you get it. And please join the Patreon campaign. Really, really important you join the Patreon campaign, because that's how we keep things going, keep the lights on, do other projects. I just got one of the last checks from Goodney and Dave came in this weekend, and it's going straight to the VFX guys. We're excited. So excited about Axanar. So excited that you guys are part of that process. And we'll see you again soon. All right, everyone. Be good.